imagine, right? Like just imagine having a street named after you, and not for like, some big heroic thing you did once, but just because of how you are in your community.
Yeah.
And that's what happened to this guy, John Hunt.
Huh. Interesting.
You sent this article about him, and it's pretty wild.
Yeah.
He's the chief administrative officer over at surgical services at Johns Hopkins.
Oh, wow. So at the hospital,
Yeah.
that's something else, isn't it? It
Yeah.
really makes you think like, what did this guy actually do to get a street named after him? You know,
Right.
it just goes to show you that sometimes the people that are making the biggest difference aren't the ones that want all the attention.
Hmm.
They're just quietly working and helping people because that's what they're all about.
Hmm. Totally. And that's really what this whole deep dive is about today.
Okay.
Like, what is it about someone like John Hunt that makes them tick? What makes them want to do this?
Yeah.
It's not just some feel-good story we're trying to tell. It's more like trying to understand how someone can really be engaged with their community.
Yeah, and how just one person can really actually make a change.
Exactly.
So where do we even start?
Well, I mean, we got to start with the street sign, right?
Okay, yeah.
John Hunt Way
It's a street?
in Eager Park,
I know.
a neighborhood in Baltimore.
Wow. That's
Think.
pretty cool.
It's amazing. Like, it really makes you wonder what he's all about, what he did for that community.
Yeah, definitely makes you want to kind of dig into his story.
Mm-hmm.
And this article really paints him as someone who doesn't just talk the talk, but actually walks the walk.
What do you mean?
Literally. Like he picks up trash on his way to work every day.
Oh, wow.
Like he's hoping that by setting a good example, it'll inspire other people to do the same.
Interesting. So it's almost like a symbolic thing, right? Like every little bit counts.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's a way for him to stay connected to the community,
Yeah.
seeing what needs to be done. I see what you're saying. Yeah, it could be like a reminder that even someone in his position is willing to actually do stuff to help his city be a better place.
Right.
And that's honestly just the beginning.
Oh, so there's more.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so like what else does he do?
Well, he does a lot of stuff, like with organization.
Oh, actually.
Yeah, he's really involved with this one called HEBCAC,
You being
the Historic East Baltimore Community Action Coalition.
Oh, well, that's a mouthful.
I know, right? He's on their board, and he's their treasurer, too.
Wow, so he's really bringing something to the table.
Right.
Like it's not just talk.
Totally. And I mean, as a hospital administrator, I bet he has some great skills like, with managing money,
Yeah.
strategic planning, all that kind of stuff, which
Yeah.
would be super helpful for a group like HEBCAC.
Yeah, you're right. It's not just about wanting to help. It's about actually having the skills to make a real impact.
Mm-hmm.
And you can really see that
Yeah.
in how he works with Dee's Place.
These place.
It's HEBC's program for substance use recovery.
Oh, right.
So when they lost their funding, John Hunt, he stepped right up
He did.
to help raise money so they could keep going.
That's amazing.
Right. He really went above and beyond,
Mm.
and he didn't stop there.
Mm.
He also like spearheaded this whole thing to create a mural on the building,
Really?
like a welcoming mural.
Wow.
I think that's really cool. It's like he understands how important it is to create a space that feels safe and supportive.
Yeah, it's like a more holistic approach, right?
Mhm.
Not just looking at the immediate need, but like thinking about the bigger picture. How are people feeling?
Exactly. And it kind of shows how John Hunt thinks about things.
What do you mean?
Well, like the deputy director at HEBC, Jeff Thompson,
Yeah.
he said that John really helped them get their finances in order and find resources.
Oh,
This is someone who knows how things work and how to make them work for other people.
that's incredible. So we're really seeing a pattern here, right?
Yeah.
He takes action. He thinks strategically. He's willing to go the extra mile.
And it makes you wonder what motivates him.
Yeah, what makes him so committed?
Well, he said something interesting.
That's that.
He said, I try to invest in the city, shop in the city, and promote the city as much as I can.
Hmm.
Like, he really believes in Baltimore and wants to be part of making it better.
Which is interesting because Baltimore has had its ups and downs,
Yes, sure.
So to be so dedicated to the city and its people means he really believes that things can get better.
Yeah, he's not giving up on it.
Exactly.
That's powerful stuff.
It is.
And it's not like he's trying to do these huge things or be in the spotlight or anything.
Great.
He also said, I know that our city government can't fix everything. I care about my neighborhood and I care about the families who live here.
Mm.
Like, he gets it. He knows that change starts with us.
It's like that quote, Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has.
Who said that?
Margaret Mead.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that one. It's
Yeah.
so true, though.
Right.
And that's totally John Hunt. He's not waiting for someone else to fix things. He's doing it himself and getting other people excited about it, too.
And speaking of getting people excited, we can't forget about all the mentoring he does.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
The article said that he mentors students at Paul Laurence Dunbar High School and advises administrative fellows at Johns Hopkins,
Wow.
and guides young administrators through the National Association of Health Service Executives.
That's amazing. I wonder what kind of advice he gives them, especially the ones in healthcare.
Yeah.
Like, does he tell them how important it is to be involved in their communities?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Maybe he thinks being a good leader and being a good citizen kind of go together.
Yeah, I bet he does. And think about it. It's not just those people he's mentoring directly.
Right.
It's all the people they're going to impact throughout their careers.
Oh, wow.
Like, he's creating a whole bunch of future leaders who care about their communities.
Yeah. It's like a chain reaction of good stuff.
Exactly. And it shows how important it is to invest in the next generation. We can't just focus on what's happening right now. We have to teach young people how to make things better.
So we know that Hunt takes action, thinks strategically, and empowers others. But how does he keep doing it?
Yeah.
You'd think he'd get burned out with all this stuff he's doing.
Well, he said that working with young people gives him energy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, maybe it's like a give and take,
Yeah.
He helps them, and they help him stay excited about making a difference.
Or maybe he's just that passionate about his community.
Could be.
It's really inspiring,
Yeah,
Makes you think about how you're involved in your own community.
it does. What about you? What stood out to you the most about John Hunt?
I think it's that you don't have to be some big, important person to make a difference.
Right.
He's just a hospital administrator, but he found a way to use his skills and his passions to really help people.
That's so true. It's like he's challenging that idea that you need a fancy title or to be famous to make a change. It's about knowing that you have the power to do something good no matter who you are.
Totally. And it's about finding that connection between what you're good at and what your community needs.
Yeah, like what are you passionate about?
Mm.
And how can you use that to help others?
That's such a good point. It's not about trying to be someone you're not.
Right.
It's about finding your own John Hunt way.
Exactly. And it doesn't have to be this huge thing.
Right.
Sometimes the smallest things we do every day make the biggest difference.
Like picking up trash on your way to work.
Exactly. Or
Yeah.
volunteering or mentoring someone or even just being a good neighbor.
All that stuff adds up.
It really does.
Yeah. So I think that's really what we can learn from John Hunt, right?
Yeah.
We all have to find those little things we can do to help out in our communities.
Right. It's about changing how we think,
How so?
Instead of thinking someone should do something, we should be thinking, what can I do?
Yeah, I like that.
And it's not just about being nice either.
What do you mean?
When we help our communities, we're actually helping ourselves too, right?
Totally. Like, we're creating a better place for everyone to live, including us and our families.
Exactly.
But I also think it gives you a sense of purpose,
I agree.
Like you're part of something bigger than yourself.
Yeah, it's about realizing that we're all connected and that what we do affects other people.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into John Hunt's story, I'm feeling pretty hopeful.
Me too.
It's easy to get discouraged when you see all the problems in the world, but then you see someone like Hunt, and you realize that even little acts of kindness can make a difference.
He's proof that you don't need to be famous or powerful to make a change.
Yeah.
It all starts with asking yourself, what's my John Hunt way?
Right, like what can I do to help?
Exactly. And don't worry about being perfect. Just try your best and keep showing up, even when it's hard or no one's watching.
Because it's those little things we do every day that really make the world a better place.
That's what it's all about.
So let's all go out there and make a difference, even if it's just picking up a piece of trash or helping a neighbor out.
Yeah. Every little bit counts.
Couldn't have said it better myself.